Welcome to Movie and a Beer, everybody. This is Dan bringing us in, and we have a really hilarious, fun, cool movie that we're going to talk about during this wonderful, great episode with my wonderful friends and co-hosts that are sitting here joined with me at the table.
But you're promising a wonderful episode. I think we're going to deliver.
He said friends and co-hosts, which means I'm a co-host, which really hurts.
You can be two things at once. Two things can be true.
Walk and chew gum.
I'm hungry and drunk.
Yeah.
That works.
Excellent. Dear listener, this is Aaron. I'm so glad you joined us. I'm our, what is it, a geodesic house?
Geodesic house.
Geodesic house expert. You can tell how deep that expertise goes because I can't say the name right.
Yes, correct.
Hello, everyone. This is Blake. I'm your Sam Rockwell expert. One of his first roles was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the motion picture, where he asked other children if they want regular or menthol cigarettes. That's real.
Hey, everybody. This is Brian. I'm your yeast expert.
Because this is about the yeast lord.
The yeast lords.
I was wondering who's going to take yeast.
Yeast makes you float, right?
Yeah.
It does.
Sure. You can also make bread with it. Or
You could.
That's
you
it.
could
That's
make
nothing
a-
else. Just
You
you
can
make
make
bread.
a time
beer?
capsule and it'll float away, and those in the future will understand what we're doing.
Only if we have that friendship stone.
Correct.
And you blow on it.
blow on it.
Tee.
But anyway, dear friends, tonight we watched Gentlemen Broncos.
So this is a 2009 film. Before I really get into more than that, we did have a couple beers.
That's
with
the end
us
of the
to
episode.
talk
Night, guys.
about a little bit later, but we had a rye pale ale from Leikam Brewing, which is over on East Burnside, and then we had a collab, Human People and Bizarre Brewing from Seattle. I have to look at the can because they call it something weird. This is a tavern style stout.
Tavern styles.
Tavern style stout, which
He's going to ask what that means a little later in the film.
As again,
That's great now.
In
we'll
the
cover
episode.
that later.
Well,
But
that's
okay.
later.
It's not a
So,
film.
so back to the movie.
This is the
So-
film of my life, Aaron. Shut up.
Yeah, so this is a comedy by Jared and Jerusha Hess. I can never pronounce
The
it.
authors of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes.
And Nacho Libre.
And Nacho Libre.
Wait, they directed or authored Nacho Libre?
Directed.
Directed.
wrote it.
I misspoke.
Oh,
Yep. So this
Brian's a
basically it's.
I mean, intellectual property rights are very important.
Hey, that
Plagiarism
seems-
is always bad.
Why does that sound familiar?
We want to give credit to the.
Mark my words. You
Teenage
finally
authors.
heard me be wrong once.
Yeah, now I have to quit the podcast. This sucks.
Yeah, I feel like I've achieved everything I set out with this podcast, and now I don't know what to do.
All right, Alexander.
So
All right, tell us about this film.
this
Dan.
film talks about
Or Aaron.
intellectual.
Hell, you are.
Okay, so this is Benjamin, played by Michael Ngarana. I can't say any name today for some reason.
I mean, that last name is
And-
a little
and
more complicated. He's a
Garano.
terrific actor.
It's pronounced Smith.
Smith. He's homeschooled by his eccentric mother, Judith, played by everyone's favorite mom, Jennifer Coolidge.
If for a certain generation, everyone's favorite MILF.
Correct.
What generation is that?
Ours. American Pie is our age, baby.
It is a lovable loner whose passion for writing leads him to an offbeat and hilarious journey as his story first gets ripped off by legendary fantasy novelist Ronald Chevalier.
Played by Jermaine Clement
Yep.
of
Yes,
Lots
Flight
of
of
fame.
Conchords
Flight of Conchords and
and
many
what we-
other.
and What We Do in the Shadows.
What We
fame.
Do in the Shadows, yeah. And is adapted then into a disastrous movie by a local filmmaker.
Yeah, small town
And
production.
basically rips him off. He gives him a post-dated check. I'm going to plot spoil the hell out of that one.
I mean, yeah, that's not terribly vile for the plot. It's just another piece of hay on the back of the piece of straw on the back of this camel.
It's one of the 400 punches our protagonist takes here. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets beat up a lot. This film doesn't have
Metaphorically.
Yes.
It takes place in Utah, we believe.
I mean, they do a bookstore that says like Utah Books and Mags.
You said they do.
Yeah.
They do. The snake did.
The snake does, yes.
Quick plot spoiling here about that important snake moment. So actually, let's talk a little bit about
There's
humor.
some potty humor.
Yeah,
A little.
some
Little
potty
barf humor.
There's some like kind of whimsical, quirky humor, and none of that sort of aesthetic here. For everybody that's seen Napoleon Dynamite, it had this sort of charming awkwardness to it, if you remember, but just I guess like idiosyncratic of like just a little out of step one way or another, but in a charming way.
Yeah, like the protagonist seems so not without personality, but just I think awkward is really the best way to put it. He's always just kind of stiff. His shoulders are always a little up. He's always
meet him as he's going to a camp for homeschooled kids.
For like a writer retreat thing.
Writer retreat for homeschooled kids.
Which there are a lot of in Utah.
Yeah. I mean, Utah is big on that, right? Like
there's a lot of Mormons that are homeschooled.
So, but for the film, it's sort of this, I guess, maybe a first brush of our protagonist as they meet, quote unquote, the real world. Mm-hmm. They start to have some like real interactions with
someone who's not their mother,
somebody outside of their immediate family, and I think we could use the word like misadventures. There's it doesn't all go well. But I want to ask, like, the kind of awkward, quirky charm that this movie has, and like Napoleon Dynamite as well. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about Wes Anderson movies kind of throughout this as I was watching this. Wes Anderson has this real affinity for, like child science leagues. I
think the term used to be twee.
Twee
was a big descriptor for it.
But I don't. I mean, twee. It maybe is more of an umbrella term. This is like a very specific, nostalgic 1980s Jacques Cousteau wannabe science explorer camp. I mean,
talking about this movie or just
campy?
About this movie or just Anderson in general?
Anderson in general, but I also got that feel from here.
Feels right.
In Napoleon Dynamite, and it was a little bit like, okay, you're going to go to a writer's camp, and it's going to be great, but also kind of awkward. Mm-hmm. Okay,
and there's also kind of this nostalgic affinity for kind of pulp science fiction, and kind of this fan culture around it. I would say
this niche. Yeah.
More the late 70s, early 80s is what it felt like to me, even though the timeline is hard to put your finger on.
We're thinking 90s because they mentioned email and putting your stories online.
But the kind of fiction they seem to be into is more like, late 70s, early 80s feeling.
It's kind of anachronistic.
Homeschool
anachronistic.
Is a little behind the times, I would imagine.
And like Napoleon Dynamite, nothing really like over the top crass or offensive. I mean, there's like some vomit humor or like vomit action
and poo humor,
but
like there are also like mammary lasers.
But as far as a lot of other stuff around this time, pretty tame. Like no one really ever. There's like one instance of kind of blood. I mean, no one really drinks.
If you're thinking of like American Pie, which was like roughly contemporary for this film, or Not Another Teen Movie, or what were the Halloween ones?
There's no real kind of sexual innuendo, even though there were places where I thought it was going to go there.
Yes,
often.
Yeah, it's very chaste. Any sort of like feelings are very like kind of like say middle school. Like, I like you.
I was going to say like what a 10-year-old would imagine for like, what adult relationships.
Which is not like in my. I'm not trying. That's not me saying like I didn't like it. I'm just noticing it seems very like
innocent.
I think that's what adds the nostalgia vibe. And Aaron mentioned Wes Anderson. I feel like Wes Anderson has more of a it's more of a worldly view, and I don't know if I say that because he's had movies set in New York and Arizona, wherever the Alien movie was, or the Darjeeling Limit. Like it feels more worldly, whereas this always Jared Hess's films always feel, I mean, landlocked. Like very specifically, one area is his genre is where he wants to tell stories, and I can't relate because I never grew up in Utah. I met a couple of Mormon people, but I don't.
I think that Wes Anderson, the Royal Tenenbaums and others, like every family is dysfunctional, and like there's no one person in the family that really seems like a decent human. Here, most people are flawed, but they're fundamentally decent. Yeah. And I think maybe that's one of the differences.
And you can understand and relate to most of their motivations.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's one way that this feels a little bit different than like the Western, but there is still this kind of same nostalgic sort of twee.
Wes Anderson also feels nostalgic.
The cars are so 1970s and 80s.
The word Oldsmobile was said 14 times in the first from us.
It was a rocket Oldsmobile. And then Brian's like, I owned an Oldsmobile. I was like, yeah.
That was my first car.
Yeah.
Wow, brag.
Is this fundamentally kind of a depressing movie of like, oh, gee, life sucks because 800 bad things happen to our protagonist?
It's more like just like a nice little slice of life. Like I mentioned towards the end, the stakes aren't really that high, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like, it's 2009. We can give the general story. I don't think we ruin anything by saying like his story gets taken. Like his story gets
he's
stolen.
plagiarized.
He's plagiarized.
Somebody
Yeah,
plagiarizes
his
his
intellectual property is stolen.
Yes.
But by an author who keeps going
to him,
to a
that's
small
huge
town.
stakes.
Yeah.
But the rest of the world, that's minor.
Yeah.
And then
other people making movies, and that author keeps showing up in his hometown.
But not just once, twice. This happens.
Well,
to
and
him
his vision is validated at least twice because people steal his ideas.
Yeah.
His idea is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a backhanded compliment in a way.
Yeah. We like your idea enough to take it and change it.
But it's also the person closest to him in the world, his mom, has no conception, no idea, no understanding of his ability or his success. And
she does
in the end
because she.
Well, that's
the
a
day.
spoiler. That's a spoiler.
She saves the day.
She saves the day in a way, but
She gets the Infinity Gauntlet and snaps away all the bad people.
but this isn't in a way that he sees or hears
popcorn
until
balls save the day.
most of the way through the
Right.
movie. Yeah.
But she shows up. I mean, she supports
there.
him.
Yeah.
Just as much as he supports
As
her.
much as we would want all mothers to support their young.
As opposed to a like Royal Tenenbaum's Wes Anderson mother who's gonna.
Oh no.
like-
The mothers in Wes Anderson films are fine. It's the fathers who Anderson has an issue with.
Mostly.
Hey,
mostly.
Angelica Houston took care of those kids on her own while Royal was
But she
off
was
being
also
a
a
jerk.
deeply bitter human, also. Too.
Yeah, but she took care of those kids.
She did. But
She
I
did
wouldn't
the best that she
choose
could.
her as a mother, though.
No, of course not. But she
so this
Sorry.
film,
Yeah,
this film,
Let's
the mother,
we compared to Wes Anderson.
okay.
the
Let's
mother,
move on.
the mother in this film does
Two
a good
different
job.
filmmakers.
She's trying her best, even with the big picture of Jesus up on the wall. She tries her
in the
best
geodesic house.
in the geodesic house with like 2 rooms.
Yeah.
And so she's an up and coming and wannabe fashion designer for the Mormon wife. Everything that she makes looks like it was from Little House on the Prairie,
But with the
from like
pizzazz.
with pizzazz, with a lot of extra fringe and things on it.
She's also charging like $80 and $90 for something
it's haute couture.
that ought to be probably like 25 or 30.
It's haute couture. She does them herself.
She's a misguided fashion designer.
There you go.
That's a
And her drawings look
Nice.
really, really grade schoolish, but that's okay.
Well, and then there are.
she's
other
got her
people-
dreams. Her son also has his dreams.
And they align at some point in the future.
But there is also, somebody in her industry that's trying to take advantage of her too. So
Correct.
it's like there's
It's everywhere.
missteps and danger kind of everywhere in this world.
And they kind of come from an innocence. They haven't quite let themselves be exposed to the world,
Right.
and so they haven't learned some lessons about how to protect themselves.
Honestly, we see that with Benjamin when he meets Tabitha, the girl who tells him she needs money for one thing, and then gets on the bus and says, "Well, they didn't have it, so I just bought a bunch of snacks." Like, oh, poor guy got fleeced. Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Well, at least I sat down and shared them with him.
Sort of after a extended hand lotion.
That did become a relationship though
come on,
later
a little bit.
in the movie. Like, well, they got to kiss and they got to, there was some, I don't know if it was like authentic progression, but
Mm-hmm.
there was something there. Like maybe as a 10 or 11-year-old might imagine how that.
Yeah, good call.
Right.
Good call.
So is this written from that perspective?
Very guarded kind of idea of
kind of.
relationships in
Yeah.
this film.
Because it's very, very, as we've noted, from the perspective of a very young man.
Right.
And is that the point? Is it written from his perspective, his ignorance and, ignorance being bliss in his part? He doesn't know until he realizes, and he realizes only after the fact. He doesn't figure anything out ahead of time. It's in front of him. And then he reacts to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think it is that, he might be homeschooled, but he just is clueless because he's never been faced with adversity like that.
I think this movie would have been ruined if they revealed at the end, because Benjamin's a writer, if they revealed that this was a story Benjamin wrote about him trying to get the story made, because that'd
be too meta.
I don't love Napoleon Dynamite. It's fine. I like this movie pretty well. I'm not bonkers for it. It's a little wacky, a little more fun. I like how sincere it feels.
Yeah.
It really feels like Aaron mentioned, like innocence, and everyone just seems like genuine people. There's some bad people, but they're
Decent.
yeah, like the author who plagiarizes gets a call from his agent saying like, you need to get something done now. He's like, I'm up against the wall. What do I do? I guess I'll take this amazing yeast lord story.
Can we talk about yeast lords a little bit? Like,
Please and thank you. This is pretty good yeast. It's not terrible. It's got some fungus and yeast like properties.
Dear listener, within the framing story of this young author who's coming to terms with the world and the coming of age story that we've got in Gentlemen Broncos, there's sci-fi that our protagonist writes. And
science fiction novella.
The science fiction novella. And it's either completely brilliant or totally bonkers. I think depending upon your perspective.
So they dramatize his story in 3 different ways.
Yes.
Kind of the way he envisioned it, and then a low budget studio shoots their version of it,
which is very different.
And then we read someone plagiarizes his story, a well-renowned sci-fi writer, and we kind of see a dramatization of that version of the story.
Right.
And
sorry, I'm just thinking about the visuals.
All 3 of them are kind of like the worst episode of Buck Rogers in the whatever century.
That's a really good way to describe it.
Was it Buck Rogers in the 24th century?
Yeah, whatever it is, it's like the worst episode. All 3 of them are a variant of one of the worst episodes of a 70s sci-fi like TV series.
Low budget 1974 sci-fi TV series. Like, and that's what these vignettes are like, but they're also so fun.
Oh, they're a blast.
Yeah, they're the best part of this film.
Listener, I learned about this movie
because of the parody involved.
Yeah. I learned about this movie from scrolling on TikTok and got a clip of the plagiarized version with no context showing Sam Rockwell looking. Unfortunately, this movie does use tranny in a sort of negative term, which isn't great, but 2009. But he's him just like lip glossed up, blonde wig, talk about cyclopses and yeast, and with no context, like what is even this movie? And I looked it up, and I looked at the synopsis and thought, that sounds kind of interesting. And then Dan and I happened by Sad Valley, my local watering hole, and saw it on the TV with no sound, only subtitles. Thought we need to watch this.
Yeah. You had this synchronicity, serendipity thing where like this movie hit you twice from 2 different platforms.
And you have to watch it at that point.
Okay.
It's not good. The universe isn't going to point you at it more than once without a reason.
So, Blake, I want to know about the movie that you imagined when you saw parts of this with no sound and how that compares to the movie we just watched.
The one with sound was calmer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
without the audio, you don't know what the hell's going on.
I was talking, I noticed partway through the movie, not a lot of music is played.
Wait, did you see like the reindeer with the Sidewinder missiles without sound?
Yeah,
I think
I stayed for that part.
Okay, so there's reindeer. There's combat reindeer.
There are.
We were there for like a lot of the real world stuff.
Bucks. Okay.
I know we saw the reindeer at one point because he's like he's riding and pulls back.
Actually, they might be red deer or white-tailed deer. I don't know.
Well, they're
battle deer, battle doe,
battle
does,
battle does. That's right, battle does, which is very creative.
Deer sentinels. I don't remember. I'd say calmer with all the sound because now I'm hearing how just like chill everyone sounds. Whereas when you watch it in a bar playing loud music with a bunch of people around, with it muted, you think, all right, well, I'm projecting a lot of whatever's happening, and I'm yelling loudly to my friend in a loud bar.
Right.
So this feels more like cozy and quiet. Like I said while we were watching, I wouldn't necessarily want to see this in a theater. If I wanted to support, I would, but like this is more of a house movie.
Why is this not a theater movie for you?
It just doesn't feel grand.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like quieter movies, I kind of want to see at home.
Okay.
Yeah. So looking at some of the trivia, so the character Chevalier was based on a Utah author who is a science fiction and fantasy writer, Dave Farland, who writes under the pen name Dave Wolverton, who also happens to conduct popular writing workshops and seminars in Utah. The Yeast Lords is a take on a popular best-selling book called The Rune Lords that the guy wrote. So it's like, this is sort of weird. Like, we're going to write about somebody I know.
It's a rune-like fungus, but it's got some rune-like properties.
I don't know. That's the first trivia that I found on
Does it say if the real guy dressed like Jermaine Clement?
R-U-N-E, like runes, or R-O-O-M, like mushrooms?
No.
What kind of lords?
Rune, R-U-N-E.
Rune lords.
Probably not the pop singer.
No. I mean, hey, room lords would be really different than rune lords.
Isn't a room lord just a Roomba?
And then They just went bankrupt recently. Anyhow,
Did they?
yeah.
Those poor robots are all
I
homeless
know.
now.
Now they're all orphaned.
Just wandering about, picking up dirt and crying. Just like me.
So the town of Saltaire, which is where this takes place, isn't an actual town. It's a resort on the south end of Salt Lake City, or no, of the Great Salt Lake.
Is it defunct? Because I think I've been there. If it's like closed,
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Which was just an abandoned building for some reason.
But a lot of the scenes,
This will be learning Aaron's in a fight club.
all the scenes were basically shot. All the outside and inside were all shot basically in Utah.
I mean, that looks right. Like I've
makes
driven through
sense.
Utah briefly. It looks accurate.
Yeah, mountains in the background, and then just nothing.
well, he
Desolate.
seems to land in the Great Salt Lake at one point.
Yeah, he lands there
Oh, that
in the foot of water.
Yeah, 2 foot water.
Right.
So, two things I want to talk about before we land on beer.
Yes.
The first is we did comment on the use of music in this.
We did, yes.
I will applaud the director. There is no score whatsoever.
None.
Virtually all the music in the film is needle drop pop songs.
Yeah.
Right?
Either slightly old or current, or yeah.
Well,
I think they were all a little old.
They were all a little old even
Like
in 2009.
Yeah, one we
But
share, one
not
was
real old.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath and
Yeah.
Cher from the 70s.
REO Speedwagon, I think was
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah, so
That's right,
So
that's
kind of roughly the era.
Boston
they
for the
were.
credits.
But Brian, typically a score is used to try and underscore emotion that an audience is kind of expected or meant to feel. You know, you have this kind of sweet music in the background to underscore like positive feelings, or maybe a different type of score to drop tension. I wonder if the absence of score here is meant to underscore some of the awkwardness that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
To make it feel
Nobody
real.
knows what they're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
Just like the main character.
And,
He's
yeah.
trying to figure out his emotions.
Right.
I'm curious how much of our laughter is that awkward feeling of like, if I don't laugh, I'll start freaking out. Like
If
when
you
you're
don't laugh, you'll identify with the protagonist a little too much.
I've been in scenarios where if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Like, yeah.
Right. Right.
What's the other thing?
So the other thing I was going to ask goes kind of back to Aaron's question. This kind of didn't feel like a movie theater film. It was more like a home TV movie.
All right, that's 2-1 to Aaron. Take that.
How did you guys like this film? Did you like it? Would you watch it again?
Oh, see, I liked it. I'm not
Like
sure.
some of our films, we have glowing praise.
Mhm,
Some of our films are like,
Yeah, you can skip
we
it.
saw it. We're really glad we saw it because it was an experience.
Right.
Mad God.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
that was an experience.
This to me is
Moonfall.
along that line. I'm glad I saw it. I would never want to watch it again. It's just dumb.
I would want to watch Yeast Lords. I would want to watch the sci-fi within this
The
movie.
adaptation.
Aaron
Yes.
stole my answer.
But which version?
The original. The original.
The original.
I'm a purist here in that respect.
So the one that was used during the telling of his story.
Is the actual story.
Not
the
the- not the-
long bearded,
Yeah,
not the
not
well
the-
kept.
The original long bearded one,
Yeah.
not the Gary.
The one with
Glitter.
Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
So
They're both Sam Rockwell.
yeah,
Oh, I see
No,
what you did
well,
there.
right.
I see what you
think-
did there.
I think for me, like I like the original Battlestar Galactica or the Buck Rogers or like some of that really cheesy early like that 1970s sci-fi. It can be campy. It can be goofy.
Campy's fun.
It can be, but it's fun. And if you just allow yourself to not take it too seriously, you can have a good time with that kind of a silly story and what are really dated and crappy special effects. But that you still have an enjoyable time watching it. And I think for me, this movie does have a little bit of heart. It does have, we were talking about innocence. It has a feeling of nostalgia. Kind of also this feeling of like, man, this world weariness of, our protagonist is persevering through bad things to finally get to Act 3.
It feels a lot like middle school to me. Like
yes,
everything that's going on.
and it's
like
just BS, and it's
6th and
unnecessary,
7th grade
it's
where you
unfair.
don't know anything.
So
You're
I'd say
smaller
like
than all the other kids.
yeah.
this is not like Sisu or some of the other. This is not like RRR, where I'm going to say like, you guys need to go watch this, dear listener. Like seek this out because it will change your life. It will change your perspective on movies. It's an experience. I mean, this is a fun movie. I'm glad we watched it. But boy, like if I don't ever see it again, I'm not going to be living at a deficit. I give it a solid like I don't know 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun to watch once with friends,
Yeah.
with a couple beers.
Because we sure talked during the whole thing. Everyone.
You
Yeah,
guys
we-
do that for every movie, though.
Yeah, we do. That's
I whispered to
nonstop.
Brian, and Dan screams all of his thoughts. To answer Brian's question, I don't know if I'd watch it again. I would put it on the background at a party, like a background party movie.
It's a conversation starter.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Like, there's a certain genre of film where like it's good to have on the background, but it won't pull attention from like the party. And this has enough going on where like it's pretty chill, and then someone looks over and sees Sam Rockwell in a full beard, massive way. Like, what's happening? Oh, this movie's crazy. It's from the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite, yada yada.
Why are they riding deer?
Man, I wish I knew. Look over later, he's wearing a lot of lip gloss. Like, what is happening? Same movie. Like, I think it's a good background movie, which is not it feels like I'm dismissing the director's vision. It's just not for me. Like,
Right.
I liked it. I did like the movie. I'm glad I saw it with sound and with friends. I probably would have enjoyed it as much if I just watched it at home with a beer, like just a beer in my hand. Like, it's pretty good.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So if I can ask one final question then.
Sure.
42.
Is there a movie that you would pair with this one? If you were to do
I
a
mean, that
dual
technically
header,
does answer. There's a movie called 42. I wouldn't pair it with it.
then you didn't answer the question.
It's about Jackie Robinson.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I would also probably butt this up against another bad, 80s, 70s era sci-fi. That's that B flick kind of thing, because that's what it's sort of parodying a little bit. It's more of a parody than homage, because the characters, while you can see them really trying hard to take it seriously, they don't. It kind of comes across as not serious sometimes. I don't know.
I feel like they took it pretty seriously. I think the lead actor really
Well,
not that
lead, but I
weight
mean,
of
like all the supporting, like the people that were making the movie that they paid him $500, like those guys are just like they're having fun.
Yeah, there's one character that always talks with a big frown.
that character's
that's, like, a little
mouth
ridiculous.
got worse and worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Every time.
Yeah, I think Dan has my answer is similar to Dan's, kind of a schlocky B grade 70s sci-fi something.
Like maybe one of the early D&D fantasy movies that's just not very good.
Yeah,
Or like early sci-fi movie that's fun, but just not very good.
well, I mean, I would actually go so far as to say one of those kind of almost Cinemax, because this one is so involved in innocence
Barbarella?
and awkward. Barbarella would be a fantastic choice. Kind of a kind of over the top,
like skimpy to the, like,
sexual.
Did you mean to say Skinamax, Brian? Do we have to tell her
No.
what Skinamax is?
No, I chose my words carefully.
Back before there was the internet, the only place
There are a couple I can think of, but like Flesh Gordon or The
Right.
Perils of Gwendolyn. But now you guys know what I've seen.
yeah. This is why we don't invite Brian on the group chat.
I mean, for me, I'd watch Zardoz or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
Zardoz
way
would
more
work.
serious.
See,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Death Race 2000.
I almost was going to say like Parrot with Napoleon Dynamite, but that's too much of the same flavor. The way
Yeah,
that
that's a lot.
the way that the author wears all the same color. I almost want to say start with this and then go into Mars Attacks. That's like a real light salad, very calm meal, and then you get into like the meat of it with like a parody of a 50s sci-fi based on a trading card game or
about
trading
like
card
Future World about robots.
Moonfall.
The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Not Moonfall. No one ever watched Moonfall again.
Hey, I saw Damnation Alley
Hey, language.
on the TV, on the old TV.
The Dungeons and Dragons of Honor Among Thieves.
The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Batman Begins.
Oh, I'm just looking at a list
I'm just
of
naming movies I
from the
know.
70s.
42.
Star Wars.
No, that wasn't schlocky.
Yeah, that's not.
Nah, that.
We're,
I mean, it
we're,
is
we're
sort
thinking
of the
about
fantasy.
schlocky.
It is kind of the fantasy that the protagonists seem to be going for, with more like sci-fi elements. Like, just it was not hard sci-fi, but what he was going for was like
Laser blast.
there's like biological experiments being done to the lead of his story. Like there's
Star
science, and then like use was a actual product being made to like be. It was
He's
war
trying to
with
write
resources.
kind of a prurient sexual novel,
Yeah,
but he's an adolescent who doesn't know anything.
he didn't get kissed until he barfed.
The first Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Marlon Brando Superman movie would go great after
Marlon
this.
Brando's. Oh yeah, he plays.
Yes.
Or the Swarm.
Zor-El.
Swarm with Michael
Zor-El,
Caine.
yeah, his Superman's dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many bad movies from the 70s.
Not Pa Kent, the other Pa.
Yes, the bio dad.
I mean,
Yeah.
so the Black Hole from bad
From
sci-fi
Disney,
from
yeah.
Disney came out the same time that Alien came out, the original Ridley Scott.
For real?
Yes.
yeah.
That's like how there's
That's
during
why
Samurai.
Alien.
And Buck Rogers from the 25th century came out the same month.
Yeah, pair this with the Alien and see what happens.
There's so many bad sci-fi movies from the 70s.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Do Alien first and then cool down with this one.
Mad Max came out that same year too.
God, Mad Max is fun. It's not game, but it's fun.
We've done a bunch of these.
Oh,
We did
Moonraker.
We did do
Yeah.
Moonraker.
Moonraker, super cheese.
I don't remember a lot of that.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I really wish I could remember the name of this film. So like a year ago with some college buddies, I watched this like 1982 fantasy movie.
Was it Legend?
Low budget. And it was essentially heroes and heroines are trying to stop an evil sorcerer that's going to take over the world. And the lead actress was like a Playboy model.
Lady Hawk.
I don't know. I don't know if that was it. I thought it was like the sorceress.
Was it Hudson Hawk?
The sorceress. Yeah,
It might have been
that was one.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking like that kind of vibe of like that could be a party movie, Blake, but it also could be like it's sort of raunchy follow up to this innocent. And I think like that would be maybe the best way to watch this. You've got this like almost too clean, too innocent
chaste.
of a movie, and then you just it's something that has boobs for the sake of boobs.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like these really schlocky,
I'm agreeing with you.
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
Trying to
Roger Corman style.
going
sci-fi.
for shock by having a blouse ripped off.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But by like a green hand, so it's an alien trying to get our human women.
And then that way you restore balance to your movie watching evening of, it's very chaste in the beginning and then it's not in the end. And it reaches an equilibrium
Of silliness and
like that.
silliness.
of balance.
I get behind that.
Yeah.
Right on. So I don't know if we're
So,
sort of
speaking of
split.
balance.
If we're sort of split on this movie, I think we are. But I think this is the time on the podcast we're going to switch over to talk about a couple of beers that we imbibed on.
Which,
when
brother,
we were
there's not a
watching.
single drink in this movie.
There's not. There's no alcohol.
It's Utah,
There's,
baby.
Like no.
Mostly dry, isn't it?
Really?
I don't think I saw
Yeah.
anybody.
No
drinking
alcohol, no
anything.
caffeine.
Yeah.
No one was drinking anything.
No, in the movie theater, I think somebody had a
Like
soda.
Soda, maybe.
Oh,
But there also was something
Really?
that was
Yeah.
drunk that led to that large vomit sequence.
Well, no.
That wasn't alcohol.
No,
though.
he
It
ate
was-
yeast.
Oh, that was it.
The
It was
yeast
yeast.
was,
Yeah.
He said it was messing up his guts, and then he
That's
blasted
right.
pink.
It was the power of the yeast.
Power of the yeast.
Okay, so
yes.
yeast also makes beer.
Yes, it does.
Well done, Aaron.
Good segue.
This is where you
Thank
pay the big bucks.
Great.
You get the big
Yeah,
sauce.
this is why I'm here.
Yeah. So the first one that we had is called Rye of the Tiger. This beer was purchased directly from the brewery a number of weeks ago.
After punching a bunch of meat and running up the steps in Philadelphia.
Yeah. So interesting beer. I had it on draft at the brewery, and then I was like, I need to buy some of these because they're actually really good. So this is 5.6%, kind of citrus piney, and then a spice rye that's very, very, very present, both aromatically and on the taste buds when you sip it. Pilsner malt, pale malt, flaked rye, and hops. So, I mean, it's a pretty simple beer, but it has a strong, bold flavor.
I really liked it.
Intense. It was a
very-
little too much for me. I'm going to be honest.
Really?
I think I would have wanted something a little more.
Is there anything else on the can that might be of use? Or
Well, yeah. So Leikam Brewing Company of Portland, Oregon, here has some marketing copy, and the marketing copy says, "Great beers, can't help but like them."
Can't help but like them.
How come you don't ask me to read when Aaron can't make it?
Like them? Can't help but like them.
Well, that's right, I can't read.
Correct. Okay, so non-hop head at the table, Brian. This is a very strong flavored beer. I wouldn't necessarily call it a hoppy beer, but it's really strong flavored because it wasn't that bitter. It was just really strong flavored.
Strong flavored. I enjoyed it.
Right on.
I actually enjoyed it. I mean, I think probably my problem is the bitterness of hops most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to strong flavors. I liked it. Quite frankly, I don't remember a lot about it. I was busy watching the movie and laughing.
Yeah. Which is a good thing.
I would say the can art is beautiful.
Yeah.
I really like the can art on this.
Yeah, it's kind of got a abstract watercolor background with
Yeah.
kind of
But-
mandala hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say exactly why I enjoyed this beer.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. It was good.
Blake, any thoughts?
It was right up my alley, man. I thought it matched the movie well. I thought it tasted amazing. This is one that we had to split 2 between 4 of us.
Yeah.
And by the time I finished my glass, I thought, I'm kind of sad it's gone.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't have any more.
And so I cried and cried through the whole movie. No, it was good. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I don't
Yeah. Okay. I do have one question about this beer, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a can.
Now, I do remember my first couple sips. It tasted kind of very not specifically citrus. It tasted kind of orange to me.
Orange pithy, kind of orange oil.
Yeah, orange oil.
Yeah, and that's the hops. Yeah. Okay. I do, and that's I really enjoyed the fact that it combined that very orange forward presence with kind of a pine dry back. And again, when we talk about IBUs means residual alpha acidity, not necessarily flavor or strength of flavor. This is probably not a very high IBU beer. It's not on the can. It's not on their website, so I'm not sure how many IBUs it has, but it definitely is a very strong flavored beer. And rye tends to be, because they use flaked rye and not like super roasted rye, because it's a light colored beer, you're going to get a lot of that spice and that hit. And those kind of, the orange citrus flavor and pine marry up really, really well with rye as a flavor profile. So, Aaron, did you have any thoughts on it? Did you like it or not?
I thought it's well done, well balanced, but the flavors I think were a little too intense for.
Yeah,
I do like intensity, but I like that in like sour beers.
Yeah.
Which this is a different animal.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not sure. I never know what to expect from a rye anything, because I just don't see them that often.
Yeah, it's
so I think it's
uncommon.
probably why I liked it. It's like, oh, something different.
Yeah. Check them out if you can. They're out on East Burnside.
Sorry, Aaron showed me something funny, and I can't show the listeners, so now I'm laughing about it. It's an inside joke.
Yeah, edit this out, Dan.
Yeah, right. Dan, set up a Patreon and get a video portion so we can show the listeners. $50 a month will get you video of our antics.
No, you don't want to see those. Those are scary.
We're hilarious.
So yeah,
very funny.
Leikam Brewing, they're really good friends with the Oregon Brew Crew, which I'm involved with as a home brewer. They do a lot of support for the local economy. There's an awful lot of stuff going on at their establishment. So if you have a club or something and you need a place to meet, they have a big room in the back. So highly recommend checking them out. They don't have food there on site, but you're more than welcome to bring food in. They do have a food cart or 2 out front. Or on the side, actually.
Can I bring a microwave pizza from home and use their microwave?
I don't think they have a microwave.
Crap.
They don't. It's just beer, so they don't offer. I think they might have non-alcoholic stuff as well.
Wait for this pizza to thaw out.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll sit on your pizza for you and use their body heat.
Well, that's gonna ruin it. You can't cook a pizza like that. That's how you cook hot dogs. Jeez, Aaron, learn a cookbook.
Sitting on hot dogs, listeners. Welcome to Movie and a Beer. Where
movie and a snack. There's my snack.
That'll be the Utah-based
Welcome
film.
to Sitting on a Hot Dog.
Brian's Shock Chalk radio show.
Today's guest, a nun and a priest.
Oh, Lord. Falls over.
So we're going to go on to the second beer, which we enjoyed, which is called Down by Law, which is a tavern-style stout.
That's a picture of a mushroom on the side. That's why we're laughing.
Yeah, it's some interesting can art. I picked it from the can art. So I've actually been to Bizarre Brewing, which this is a collab with. Human People Beer. I'd heard of them, but I've not had anything from them before. So kind of glad I checked them out. And I knew the movie had kind of funny animal stuff going on in it because I saw the previews and we saw it,
I mean, honestly, the can art does look like it was made in conjunction with this film.
It could have been a tie-in. It could have been a tie-in.
It's very, very, very vague and weird looking.
It's a little twee, is what we might say.
Yeah, I said that.
So,
but you said it before, and I'm saying it now.
Dang it!
You guys asked about. So, is there marketing copy on there?
There sure is. There sure is, Dan. Low ABV, full-bodied, and rich with flavor and good aromas, brewed in collaboration and admiration with our friends at Bizarre Brewing.
So, the guy who runs Bizarre Brewing was one of the brewers at Holy Mountain Brewing. So, if you're in the Seattle area, you know who Holy Mountain is. They make a lot of really good beers and a lot of sours. They do a lot of barrel aging, Brett style sours, and some saisons, some wild yeast stuff.
Oh, all my stuff.
All the good things that you would love.
Listen to Aaron's standing right now and just waving his arms.
I want to go.
I'm trying to fly there right now.
You are. It's working. Oh my God, he's gone.
So you asked about tavern style stout. I've never heard of the term before. It's just basically what's considered more chocolate robust. Usually roasted barley, coffee, and chocolate are the predominant flavors. Dry finish, and it's just super roasty. It basically, they would say it's a meal in a glass, but this is also really low alcohol. So this is like 4.5%.
It's sure 4.9.
Oh, 4.9.
No, that is a 5. I
Yeah, so
apologize.
4.5. So it's kind of balanced
Couldn't
with
tell under
like
the rabbit foot.
really strong flavors.
Real lucky though.
Yeah. So one person said that it has a light inky profile.
Did I say that?
What does that even mean?
No, and no, I'm asking you. I read a review,
Was it-
and that's
was it
what
brewed by an
I would
Excellent.
totally agree because this feels a little thin for a stout.
It does.
So export
me.
stouts tend to be thinner. Like Guinness is thin. Guinness is not a thick beer; it's very thin.
What? So the export stuff is like watered down, or what? What
It's
are we
just
talking?
thinner in body.
Thinner in body. Okay. So
But it
viscosity.
doesn't mean it doesn't. Yes, correct. So things like flaked malts, wheat, oat, rye, flaked is going to give you more mouthfeel because it's going to those characteristics will coat your tongue. This doesn't use any of those. It uses lightly toasted malts, and then
Like Cheerios.
So there's ways of making things dark with roast using certain kinds of malts based on the roast. So if you use a really high, the scale that they use for the darkness of the roast or the level of roast is Lava Bond, and it goes from 0 to 800.
I thought you were going to say 4,000.
No, 800.
800.
Well, if it's over 9,000, I have to smash my scouter.
Anything over 300 is just going to give you a black finish, and
It's
then
gotta be like
colors
a lot of,
variants
like,
of black.
char.
And then it starts adding those char characteristics because it's just so burnt. It's going to give you a little bit of that color, and it's going to give you some of that roast or that
So
burn.
if they don't do that, how many pens does it take to break off into the batch?
A lot.
It's like
A lot of
20?
pens. A lot of inky.
25?
So aside from pens, I mean, is it really difficult to consistently get the same type of roast if that's what you're. I imagine if you're roasting, it can be really difficult because you have to imagine like how much sugar is in the malt or whatever, and like how quickly is that going to caramelize? How warm was it when you first started roasting it? How warm is it in the the brewery?
Well, I imagine they have.
So they're not roasting it
I
in the
imagine they
brewery.
have tools to like measure like when I worked at
wow.
Jacobson, we had ways to keep the brine and everything like consistently heated throughout.
Right.
I imagine there's some sort of tools to like keep it pretty consistent.
So the companies that make the malts do the roasting.
Okay, so that's
So it comes as a whole
pre-roasted.
grain. It comes as a whole grain,
Okay,
or you can buy it as flaked because they're not going to flake it at the whoever homebrew store or wherever.
right.
The breweries don't have. The breweries are going to grind it themselves to the consistency that they want it, but they're going to leave it as a whole grain as long as they can. And then because once you break it open, it starts oxidizing and going stale.
Those fats in the grain, the oils in the grain will start to turn, and so
Correct.
you want it to preserve it. You want to keep that as
you
whole.
grind it just as you're going to use it. It's not done ahead of time. It's not so they're grinding it just as they're using it. So they're doing a small test batch. Most brewers have used some of these malts before. It's not anything new to them, or they know people who have and will give them recommendations. But a lot of places they're going to do a test batch
and then
in
kinda
a smaller
see-
scale to see, is this what we want, instead of wasting a whole lot of money on ingredients and then having it not turn out right.
Like how Smart Mouth Brewing in Norfolk put a bunch of Lucky Charms in a batch saying this will work, and turns out cereal grains do not work.
No, because it's already produced, and
Gross.
the sugars in it are just going to turn to solids and not be pleasant.
That's what they ran into. This, which is funny because this is a brewery known for like its IPAs.
Oh, my
So
Lucky
that's-
Charms.
Pretty unlucky if you ask me. I'm dabbing.
So from
We're all too old. for that.
opening up the can and pouring it into the glass, because everyone did that.
Because Dan said if we don't, he'll smack us.
I insisted on doing that.
threw a
So
shoe
this
at me.
had a nice dark color, not completely black. The head on it was kind of a darkish tan color and a good head retention. There was a decent amount of aromatics that came off of it immediately, and then that kind of slowed down a little bit to me. It kind of had a little kind of that roast chocolate vibe.
Well, when you started yelling at me to sniff my beer,
Yes. Smell it.
it still had plenty of aromatics when I got around.
Missing
to it.
out.
Yeah,
Smell it.
I didn't catch it. I just kind of drank mine.
Yeah.
Oh no! I waited. I guess 10 minutes too long for Dan, and he's like, "Aaron."
How could you, Aaron? That's so embarrassing.
At least give it an effort.
I was engrossed in the sci-fi portion of our movie.
I'll say what's gross is you not enjoying the aromatics.
What's gross is not hydrating when you.
Hella hydrated, bruh.
Yeah. All right. So thoughts on the taste of this beer?
I
'Cause
liked it. I love a low ABV. I love it's a winter right now in old Portland, and I love a dark beer when it's cooler out. I don't know if it matched the film, but I sure did like the beer.
I think it matched the film because it didn't distract at all.
Yeah.
It felt warming and comforting. And towards the end of the film, there was the story circle came to a completion, and the character got some sort of end result that was some closure with what had happened to him.
I think it means, like, I'm realizing you saying that. I think I'd prefer like two kind of distracting beers to sort of like compete to like. I don't know. I don't know why I want that, but I just like the idea of something to really go big while I'm like watching this.
You
movie.
mean like a fruit smoothie sour?
I'm gonna take your microphone away.
I'm just asking, what's a distracting beer?
Like a strong IPA, like West Coast IPA.
Farmhouse ale.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Just how about it's like foot water? Just water from a foot tub. We're gonna say
So
gross things.
farmhouse ale.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. So you don't mind darker beers.
Well, for me,
how was the flavor and
it was good. It had kind of the kind of caramel chocolatey sort of vibe that I would expect from a stout. I can understand, somebody was saying it was a little bit thin bodied.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like thin, inky. I'm not sure if I would put it in those words.
I would say just
exactly.
lighter.
But I'd say like it was a little bit less. It was a little less thick. But I would say, as a stout, I really can only enjoy these in the depth of winter. Otherwise, they're a little too intense.
It's cold and rainy outside.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's tougher to do in June and July.
Yeah, if it's June or July, it's like too much for, I don't know. My body is like, well, how are we trying to metabolize this now?
Yeah.
We've lived through a December and we'll see another one. Let's, why are we not waiting?
Yeah. I don't know. So Brian, you're definitely the more multi person in the party here.
Multi. I think you said multi, like MULTI.
Multi.
He's multi-talented. It's true.
Yeah, I would say I was pleasantly surprised because I was expecting something that was a little denser,
robust,
and I didn't think that would go with the film, but this was definitely a little thinner, and so I was most pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it.
Were there scenes in the movie that surprised you when you were drinking it? So you could be surprised both visually and on your taste buds?
Yes.
I have an answer for that too. There was a laser turret that was taken out in an unexpected way, in the way that this beer was unexpectedly light.
Oh, yeah.
Watch out for that scene. What did she call him? What was the name that she used for that object?
God.
She was saying it's yogurt? No.
Yogurt, goop, or jello.
I think she called it
a Yorkshire pudding.
She called it. I think she
called it some
pudding.
food stuff.
Pudding. She called it a pudding.
Yeah, that was upsetting.
Yeah.
So, Dan, you often remind us that the difference between a stout and a porter
is the name. Yeah. There are actual differences in a legal term.
There's also similarities. They both have O.
Yes.
They both have T.
They're very, very close to. So this could pass as a porter.
Really I was thinking,
robust porter. Really,
I know you keep educating us, but in my naive way, I keep thinking of porters somehow ought to be lighter because stouts are the biggest, heaviest beers there are.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not even true. There could be a bigger, heavier, more robust beer out there that's waiting and it's got my name on it.
Yeah.
The Hulk of beers.
Yeah, it's looking for me right now.
I have a couple of those in the beer fridge. I have a coconut porter, and then I have I have a seasonal spiced stout that I wanted to someday open up and compare. Like, okay, so these are both heavy beers. Which one's more heavy? Which one is
I've always
stronger flavor?
The idea is
Sunday. We're gonna have a fight of the heavyweight beers. In this corner, we've got extra double stout.
Yeah,
extra double stout, undefeated in North America.
You'll buy the whole glass, but you'll only need the lit rim. I had it. It was there.
You'll fill the whole glass, but you'll only need the broken edge.
Yeah, I cut my stuff out. Damn it. That was really funny.
Yeah.
I always
come down to the Moda Center for the Portosaurus or the Stoutosaurus.
Portosaurus. I think I have the Pokemon
if you
card.
add what is the
here it goes.
Watch a Stoutzilla takes 20 regular cars and eats them all.
So what do you add to the end of the name to change it to make it something cool?
Onus.
Ominous.
Stoutonius. Ominous.
Stoutonius versus
Stonius.
He said the word he said the word anus at least once.
At least once.
He did at least once.
This has been
ridiculous.
This has been very fun. I'm devastated.
Cut this out.
No, keep everything except for I stumbled so badly. This is very fun.
It's all good.
I always assumed porters.
Make that the opener.
Yeah, you'd put like post-credit scenes in this bad boy. I've always assumed porters would like have more flavor to like more like variety of flavors to them, and stouts were typically like a roasty, much more narrow flavor profiles. Which I always assumed because where I was living in Virginia when I just was discovering beer was all the porters I have crazy flavors, and stouts all kind of taste the same. But that's also Virginia is not really known for their craft brewing.
Yeah.
Dan, what would a double
for
stout?
lovers.
A double stout be?
It's just higher
Stout in
alcohol.
each hand.
It's just the
Same flavor profile, but just more
alcohol
content.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like saying, okay, so the difference between an imperial IPA and a regular IPA, or a double or a triple IPA, as they were referred to in some places. So a single IPA is going to be around 6 to 7%. Anything above 7% is going to be a double. Anything above 8% is a triple or an imperial.
Oh, I always thought that described like the hop profile of like it's extra more hoppy.
You typically have to add more hops if you're adding that much more grain to get that
So
much more sugar and more alcohol.
to keep it
So you're
balanced.
technically
balance
correct,
it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay. I don't notice the alcohol, but boy, I noticed there was more hops.
So
I noticed both.
So I want to say we've had 10 different kinds of stouts for the podcast at this point.
It'd be
pretty much
insane if
covered
we
them all.
didn't.
You know, we've covered a lot of them. So there's everything from dry Irish, which is what this tastes more adjacent to than anything, and it's just kind of low ABV. The Irish stouts tend to be more creamy though, and
Right.
on the mouthfeel you're going to be a little bit more present. So this
You
is
got to pair it with a corned beef.
that's where I say it's
potato.
more like an export stout. Export stouts like Guinness tend to be a little thinner. So that's kind of where that is. And there's milk stouts, which tend to have lactose
More
in them, which are
creamy,
creamy.
more-
There's
yeah.
oatmeal stouts, which are even more tongue coating.
Oof, I love an oatmeal stout.
There's coffee and chocolate stouts where they use the kind of roast that's going to give you way more of that roast flavor, and you're going to have zero hops in them. But it's still going to have some
less
bitterness
creamy.
from
I
the
love those
roast.
more. I love stouts.
American stouts tend to be a little bit more aggressive on the hops. They're going to be
Just like a real American.
To beat me to it.
it's not like a black IPA. They're going to have the body of a stout, but then they're going to have a little bit more citrus or pine in them. And then there's like pastry stouts, which are also similar to milk stouts, but they tend to be really sweet and have adjuncts added to them, like a fruit.
The pastry stouts kind of live between the milk stouts and the oatmeal stouts.
Correct.
In the creaminess spectrum we just made up.
Yeah.
On the
And
neighborhood.
there's so many, different kinds of anything you can put on nitro. You could put this beer on nitro and it would taste really amazing.
Yeah.
Because you would get more mouthfeel. The nitrous bubbles are smaller. They're not going to. What makes it sharp on the tongue is the CO2 bubbles are of a certain size. And when they pop, that's the reaction on your tongue. Nitrous oxide or nitrous mix bubbles are smaller. And when they pop, they don't have as
It
much
gives
of reaction.
A little different mouthfeel.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's all it is. It's all chemicals. It's all science.
Well, speaking of chemicals and science, since we've done 10 stouts, maybe we could have a movie and a beer challenge. Listeners, write in if you support this idea, but we could do 10 different Dutch fruit beers.
Oh, you could. There's.
I'm sick that day.
I mean, I have a
Sounds
fruit
like
beer.
a miserable podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I
they're
think
good.
sorry,
look like-
Aaron. Aaron, I have COVID that day. I'm sorry.
No, so there's beers for people that don't really like or drink a lot of beer, and they're like apple flavor, raspberry flavor, cherry flavor, and you like fruit. You have had a cherry pie, I know.
Fun fact,
He
I actually
hates
don't like cherry.
He hates cherry.
I like pear and apple and
Blueberry.
Oh.
some
Blueberry,
How have you known you for like
blackberry,
10 years and I didn't know you
raspberry.
like cherry?
I don't talk about stuff I don't like.
I guess you don't.
Unless it's the government, then I won't shut up.
Well, and also AI. You won't shut up about that either.
Well, don't use it. Generative AI destroys drinking water.
Okay,
So, okay.
we're
but-
digressing a bit. So
Apple Aaron started it.
different kinds of stouts, lots of different kinds of stouts, hundreds of different kinds of IPAs and pale ales and anything
Oranges. I
along
like
those
oranges.
spectrums.
Sorry.
So again, this is not an IPA, even though it has a
How
lot
about
of.
bananas?
I like a banana bread.
Yeah, this
I've
pale
never seen
ale.
Dan look so frustrated.
This pale ale, while it's below 6%, could be called an IPA or a sessionable IPA because it has the body consistency that IPAs have. It's dry and it does have a very strong forward flavor.
Yeah. I've noticed that with the ones you've had me like taste that you get where I go, that's a little much for me. And I sip. I would love a taster. The full glass I can't do.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I do appreciate you guys being willing to try a beer from a brewery we haven't had on both of these and just experimenting and saying, hey, here's some styles we haven't done before. Let's check them out. So I don't know. So any other thoughts on this movie before we close it out?
Nope, movie done.
No, this is a perfectly adequate movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
It,
It's probably better with friends.
agreed.
I
And a
wanted,
couple beer.
a couple of beers.
Yes.
Other films that you might want to watch with this. I was thinking, there's some really bad.
Hold on, you're
comedies.
plagiarizing my earlier question where I asked what movie you would pick.
I'm
But
going
he's
to
saying it
close
with a
it
different
out.
voice, so
I'm
it's
going to
technically
close
different.
it out. I'm going to close it out by saying,
No.
find a Roger Waters film to watch after this, and you will see the similarities.
Do you mean John Waters?
John
he means
Waters.
John Waters.
Yeah, dude,
Sorry.
come on.
Not
You're
Pink
dating-
Floyd.
Tear down
All right.
the wall.
I'm about to
Tear
go into another
down
rant.
the wall.
But John Waters is from Baltimore. Baltimore represent, dog.
Well, this also has a very specific feel, a very
you're
specific vibe, a very specific way of filmmaking. The shots were all blocked off. Everything was the one that, and that's one thing we didn't really talk about. This is a very simplistic film from
A couple
a
of the
filmmaking
zooms felt a
standpoint.
little
Like
music video
directing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it was very staged. Like nothing felt like it would just magically happen. Everything was very, very
a
staged.
shot towards the end when Benjamin's driving and we get a zoom on his mom on a porch. That felt like almost like a cut from a Beastie Boys music video.
Yeah.
But I would agree if you're going to do a John Waters back and forth, start with this and then move into the world of weird queer dancing, challenging social norms that John Waters is so known for.
Ultimately, if you're going to pair Roger Waters with this film, I'd recommend Obscured by Clouds, one of the early albums.
Something like that. I do wish you were here, but that's just me. Any other last thoughts on this one?
She gestures to me aggressively. No, I mean it's a pretty good background during a party movie. If you want to watch it, go for it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not your boss.
If you like cheesy sci-fi, I think you'll like this movie.
Except there's not that much cheesy sci-fi.
If you're part of
It's
that
fun sci-fi.
if you're part of that niche community,
it's more about like a weird kid just trying to figure out life.
I think if you're part of a subculture, you'll find stuff you identify with in this movie.
If you're raised in a self-educated...
Well, Aaron, I'm part of a Reuben
school.
culture where we just eat corned beef sandwiches.
Okay, then we just need the corned beef sandwich movie, and you'll get it.
We have it's called The Town.
Have we watched that?
No, we should. It's great. It's intense.
Okay,
All right,
well,
Brian,
listener, thank you for
any other thoughts? We kind of skipped over a couple of things.
The
that I
Town's
wanted
more
to also
Boston,
talk about,
actually. I
but
guess if you
yeah.
want to get
I would
Irish.
say if you like Napoleon Dynamite, this is a good follow-up.
Yeah.
All right.
But watch it with friends. It's not quite up to that standard.
Yeah. All right. Well,
This is Brian signing off.
yeah, thanks.
Hey, Dan, put over all the sci-fi effects you can find.
Pew, pew, pew.
Nailed it. If you don't hydrate, you're going to dehydrate. And just cover that with like laser sounds. Explosions. Sam Rockwell saying, well, it's a pretty good yeast.
It's a pretty good
It's a fungus with yeast-like properties.
Oh, I like this yeast.
Yeah.
This is a great yeast.
And then that sound that made when he's jumping around is great.
All right, listener,
It
thank
was
you for
very,
bearing
very
with
cool.
us.
All right. So, as always, the opinions expressed during the taping of this recording are those of the host, especially on this episode. So check it out.
I said a lot of wild
Interesting film. Check out some interesting beers if you can find local stuff or collabs. Collabs tend to be really cool. So
Schlitz.
I don't know. Yeah.
CDR.
Yeah.
Old German. Old
I-
German.
Yeah, actually, I like Ranier. I don't know if
Right.
Yeah,
Ranier. Yeah,
Is that the picture of a mountain on the can?
Mais oui, the Ranier.
I don't speak Russian. That's a life bit Blake does. You're welcome, listener.
I
Drink water.
walked right into that like I have 100 times before, dear listener. It's a
Wow.
It is your life, is your bane. He won't break Batman's back, though.
Well, I mean, Dan, the fire rises.
Yes, it does. All right, Aaron's just given up. Everyone's just staring at each other like, what am I supposed to do?
Why would you shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane?
because I'm French.
I think I was American. It was CIA in the movie.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. It's time to go home.
So it is. Dan, let's shut this thing down.
Mr. Wayne. I'm just going to send back van lines. I don't care. Sorry. I didn't know you were going to talk. I'm sorry.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care, and we'll catch you on the next episode.